My cat died and I want to talk about it for a bit. So essentially I'm doing this video as like a form of therapy. And you're my therapist. Because this has been really horrible for me. And if you follow me on social media, you know I've been posting about it often. And you've been seeing the updates of everything. But you know, as I said, this video is just, I have no idea the structure of it. I just want to talk for a bit. And have you listen, hopefully. I honestly, I didn't think that I'd feel emotional while recording this, but as soon as I've pressed record, I feel like I'm going to cry. So if you're a long-term viewer of mine and you haven't just clicked on this randomly, you know who Suki is and you know how big she was in my videos and just in my life. I had Suki since she was a couple of months old, and from the first day I saw her, she was mine. She was attached to me, she loved me, she never left my side. And from a baby, she was just really sicky. You know what I mean? She would eat stuff and then just sick up. That's what she did. It was like, Suki's being sick again. Even when I was asleep, I'd hear her going, and it would wake me up. And I'd go and run and pick her up and put her in the bath. Or make sure she's on the wooden floor and not a carpet. Stuff like that. Suki, all the time, was just sicking up. And she loved to eat. All she did was eat. Anything that you wanted to give her, she'd eat. Sometimes I'd see her eating fluff. I'd be like, what are you doing? So that's Suki. So Suki died on the 1st of June, which is a Sunday. And on the Wednesday, Suki didn't really eat her dry food. So I gave her some wet food and she ate some. And I thought, lovely, you know, because again, she ate everything all the time. So when she didn't eat, I was like, okay, Suki's got a bit of a dicky tummy or something's going on. But it's just what Suki's like. Then the Thursday morning, she sicked up in the hallway and it was a bit too much sick. It was more than usual. And I cried my eyes out thinking, fuck, Suki, are you okay? Because I hate seeing my cats in any sort of distress. I remember, little tangent, I remember one day when I lived somewhere else, I came to visit London for a day. And then when I'd come home after, like the next day, I'd accidentally locked Suki in my room when I was supposed to lock her in the hallway with Tora and all that stuff. And the whole day, Suki would have been meowing. And when I came back, I realised, and she'd lost her voice from meowing a little bit, I sat on the floor, holding her, crying my eyes out, because I was so upset that I'd accidentally done that. So that's how emotional I am with my cats. So the Thursday, me and her just laid down all day. I was ill at the time as well. I'd had tonsillitis, so I'd been lying in bed for days. I was just playing Pokemon and we were just lying down together. And then the Friday morning I woke up and she was walking and she was weak, falling to the side a little bit. I did a little test and I said, do you want to go on the bed? You going to go on the bed? And she barely made it. That's not that high up. You know, she barely made it. So instantly I went to the vets. I took her to the vets that morning. So bearing in mind, I'd seen that she was a little bit weird on Thursday. By Friday, I'm in the vets. 9 a.m. I was there. I ended up getting loads of blood tests for her. And he was telling me it's going to cost me grands. And I'm like, I can't afford grands, man. So I ended up getting blood tests. And the blood tests cost me £600. And he said that he thinks it's pancreatitis. And that it's good thing she's not got kidney failure, because kidney problems are bad for cats. He said that her liver enzymes were up, her pancreas was inflamed or something like that. I can't remember properly because it was very stressful. Then thankfully there was a charity that I was able to go to that I took her to that same day on the Friday. They did loads of feeling her stomach and stuff, and it seemed like she was just maybe a little bit ill. So then I had to leave her there. And I'd never been, apart from the one time I went on holiday, I'd never been away from Suki for more than a day. So I left her at the vets overnight. And then on the Saturday, I was told to come in to the vets. The woman I spoke to, by the way, the first vets I went to, the private vets, they were really horrible to me because I couldn't afford it. They were looking at me like I was some sort of fucking dickhead that just wanted my cat to die. That was really horrible to deal with as well. But me, I'm a nice person. I just let it go. I didn't even focus on it or anything. I'm just like, okay, whatever. Then I went to this charity place and the woman was so horrible to me. She looked at me like I was a fucking idiot. She was like, you've got to put her down. I think you should just put her down. And I was like, what? Sorry, I've skipped ahead. They told me that Suki had diabetes. So Suki had been struggling with diabetes for And for an extended period of time. I have no idea how long she was struggling with it. But if you know cats don't show any signs. They hide it. They are normal. Suki was normal. I look at pictures of her 2 weeks before she died, and she's fully normal. I was still taking videos with her, still messing around with her. She was still eating. I noticed she was drinking a little bit more, but that was it. So they told me she had diabetes, but then they told me that she'd gone into an elevated state, which is called DKA, diabetic ketoacidosis. I've just read it. I don't remember it. And it says it's a serious and potentially life-threatening complication of diabetes. They said that it's a coin flip of whether she's going to die. When I was talking to this vet that was really horrible to me, she said, I'm going to suggest you put her down. And I said, I want to see her. I want to blah, 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 blah. And she said, well, when owners see their cats and see what state they're in, they change their mind. So I'm going to go and get her. She brought in Suki in a heated tent, and her paws were wrapped up in bandages and she was covered in wires. But she was so alert and awake and sitting up. And as soon as I saw her, you could see her light up, and she gave me the slow blinks that cats do, and she was purring. I could hear the purring through the tent. And I said to the vet, I want to give it one more try. I want to give it one more day. She looked at me like this. She went like that, and I just thought, what the fuck is this woman doing? Why are you working at a charity for animals and you're treating me like that when she's clearly there's a chance that she's going to survive this? But I let it go again. But because it was a charity vet, they closed on the Saturday. So I had to then take her to another vet's. So I took her in an Uber. I might put the picture here. I might be too sad to do it. But I took her in. My mum came with me the whole time as well. She took that picture. And I'm in the Uber with her. And it's a good thing I'm editing this video because I'm cutting out the big cries. And while I'm in the Uber with her, she was so alive. She was moving around. She was coming out the cage a little bit because I didn't have a door on it. She's lying on my chest. She's looking at me. She's purring. And I'm thinking, there's no way I could have just said, yep, put her down here. There's no way I could have done that. And it was such a lovely moment that I'll cherish that last bit with Suki. So I've taken her to the vets. And then I've had to leave her at this other vet's. And they said, if you get a call in the night, it's bad news. If you don't get a call, it's good news. Basically, that's what she said to me. So the whole of Saturday, I've got my phone next to me. There's no call. There's no call. And I'm so happy there's no call. 1 a.m, no call. I wake up in the morning, 9 a.m, no call. There's nothing. By 2 o'clock, there was still no call. So I was thinking, Suki's fucking doing well. But I need to call them because I'm panicking just in case they've forgotten because it's an emergency vet, all that stuff. So I've called up, and this is so fucking sad that this happened. But I've called up and said, hey, I'm calling for Suki. Can I have an update, please? The woman said, I'll go and ask. Came back and said, can't remember properly, but it was something along the lines of, she ate last night, because a big thing is cats need to eat when they've got diabetes or they're going through that treatment. Eating and not being sick is one of the greatest signs. So she said, oh, she ate some chicken, she's been walking about, blah, 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 all that stuff, whatever. And I was like, fuck, Suki's going to be okay. I was so happy. Obviously, Suki with diabetes, it means I would have had to have given her insulin twice a day. I would have had to get blood tests. But it had a really specific diet. But I don't give a fuck, man. I'll do anything, you know what I mean? I would have put my life on hold to do that. And I'm so excited. I said, can I come and see her? And she's like, yep, you can come and see her right now. As I'm getting ready, about 20 minutes later, I get a call. Hi, I'm sorry to say, but Suki's vitals, everything has gone down. So you need to come and say goodbye. So I was like, what? I've just been told that she's eating, she's walking about, all that. And like she'd given me the wrong information, like last night's information, because overnight Suki did really well and then plummeted. And I'm sure a lot of people watching have had pets die. This is the first time I've had a pet die, one that was fully mine and one that was my best friend. I've got 2 cats. I've got Tora and Suki. Tora's in the other room right now, and Tora's relatively fine. From what I've seen, Tora's dealing with this fine because Tora is more independent anyway. Me and Suki way closer than me and Tora. And to see Suki in that situation where she was so weak and she's just lying down on her side, covered in wires. She was just weak. Luckily, she was not in any pain. She was just really tired. I then spent half an hour with Suki just saying bye to her. But I wasn't crying. I was just being super strong with her. And I was putting my forehead on her forehead. And I was just saying how much of a good girl she is. You know, all that stuff. Because she was aware. She was just weak. Her pupils did not move at all. They were just forward. But I knew that she could hear me. Because Suki had a huge purr. Suki's purring, you could hear it from across the room. Like, that's how loud she was at purring. So one thing that Suki would do a lot is when Suki would be lying with me, she'd be purring, but then she'd do a big, deep, like a lovely sigh because she was so content with what was going on. When I'm speaking to Suki, I'm saying all the key words like, do you want some food? Because she'd go crazy for that, you know, because she was fat shit. She loved to eat food. So I'd be saying, you going to get in your bed? Like, I was just saying all of the stuff would get a reaction out of her brain, you know, to let her know, even though she knew it was me. I just wanted her to know for sure. Because remember, Suki, I can't even put into words how obsessed she was with me. So obsessed. So while I'm holding her, I can feel her still purring. And then she did that sigh. Oh man, I'm a mess. Look at me crying on the internet over my cat. Some people would think that's pathetic. Some people would think it's endearing. As soon as she sighed, she stopped purring. And she just looked dead. The whole time I'm just stroking her, I'm just speaking to her. You're a good girl. You know what I mean? Just anything to make her just anything to make her feel happy, because I was her life. And you got to remember, I haven't said how young she was. She was only 7. You know, if Suki died at 15, I would have been, okay, thanks, man. Dapped her up. But 7 is fucking evil. It's so a horrible thing to happen. I got robbed. We both got robbed of like 10 years more together. So that's why I'm so upset. It's so sad that we got ripped apart so soon, you know? If she was old, I would have said thank you for a fucking great life. But now, again, Suki gave me everything. Like, I've gone through a lot of shit over the last 6 years. So much stuff that I've had to deal with. And Suki's been there the whole time. So I've said my goodbyes. And I'm holding her as they've injected her. And I'm just holding her. I'm just speaking to her the whole time. And then the vet, she says she's gone. And that's that. That's fucking it. And still having to deal with that. I know it's only been a month. But I'm going to be like this in 6 months. I'm going to be like this in 6 years. I was so attached to Suki that's why I'm talking about this so much. And you've probably noticed I got her paw print tattooed on me. I never thought I'd ever get a tattoo. She means so much to me that I thought symbolically she's going to be on me forever now. You know what I mean? Like, I don't believe in afterlife or anything like that. I think this is it, personally. So for her to be on my arm here, I only got this done on the 23rd of June. So I got it done like as soon as I could. From the vets, you know, if you've had a pet die, you know that they give you a card and all that. And they gave me that. Like, when she was dead, they did a paw print. And I got it done. It looks exactly the same. And I'm so happy that it came out like that. I was nervous. My mum knows the guy that did it because he tattoos her. And she had been telling him how important it is for me to get it done. And he done a fucking great job. And they were really lovely to me in there as well. And now I've got her on me forever. On that day, the same day on the 23rd when I got this done, I had to then pick up her ashes. And thankfully my mum went and did it for me because this has been fucking hell. So at least I didn't have to do that. It ended up coming in a box and it's just so fucking horrible to see. Again, it's always like a little bit funny to see your cat with your surname. Because whenever I'd go to the vets, it'd be like, Suki Lacey. It'd be like, what the huh? That's a Suki. She's not she didn't come out of me. So seeing that was horrible. And then this is it. She's just next to my bed, like, and that's that. I've dealt with a lot of stuff in my life, but this is completely different. Someone in my family dies, they're usually old. It's like, okay, you died old, cheers, man. A relationship ends, all right, I'll be upset for a couple of months. Cool. But this, again, I really can't put into words how important Suki is to me. I'm doing a whole video here where I'm crying the whole time. She's next to my bed now, and I've got their food right next to it. Because Suki was a fat shit and loved her food, she'd hear this move and come running screaming at me. I used to have it on top of the fridge because if I left it on the side and go out the room, that's on the floor and she's in it. So my little loving gesture is to just have her next to the food. Everything's changed in the last month because Suki was the life of the house. It's so quiet now. Like, have I had one interruption? Tora doesn't use the cat tree. The cat tree's useless now. Suki would be in this. It's useless now. I love Tora, you know. I love my cats more than anything. But Tora is so independent. It might sound fucking stupid. My best friend. We did everything today. I'd leave the room for 10 seconds and Suki's following me. She was with me all the time and was had such a vibrant personality and so many different meows that I could understand exactly what she wanted. Tora doesn't give a shit about me in comparison to Suki. So I've lost all of that, you know. I've lost the whole dynamic of my life. And again, because I do everything in my room, I always have done. I don't really leave the house. I don't really do much outside other than go to the gym, sometimes meet friends. Now I don't have Suki with me all the time. It's just a completely different feeling and it's horrible. And I've just been distracting myself by playing games with friends online. I even went to like an ABBA brass band cover the other day. I don't give a fuck. I just needed to be out the house. As soon as I have any downtime, I'm crying. I cry every day. Morning, as soon as I wake up. Afternoon, before I go to bed, I'm crying. Big cries, deep cries as well. Because this is fucked. I never thought Suki would get diabetes, but Siamese cats are more prone to any sort of disease, so this was more likely to happen. If you guys have cats, look out for if they're drinking more, if they're peeing more, because they could be a sign of diabetes. There's no way I would have noticed that Suki was ill because she was really good at hiding it, but I have this guilt in me that I could have saved her. And that's fucking horrible. That's really horrible to deal with. Because even though I know I couldn't have saved her and I wouldn't have noticed anything, I even said to the vets, and she said, well, it would be quite strange if you came in and just asked for blood works because we won't be like, yeah, okay, well, any reason? You know, and then they check her and she'll feel normal. So even though I know it was basically impossible for me to save her, it eats at me that and I could have done something, even though I couldn't have. Do you get what I'm saying? And that's a really normal human experience. And it's not unique to me. But it's fucking horrible to feel like you're the reason that someone died. And one last thing is I started streaming again. Most Saturdays, I'm on Twitch again. So please follow me on social media. I'll update you when I'm streaming. It's Saturday evenings in UK time. I've been having a lot of fun doing that. It's been really helping me process stuff. It's been nice to talk to people live again. I will start making videos again. In like 2 weeks, I'll start regularly uploading again. I never thought I'd stream again. I said I'm not fucking doing that. But when Suki died, I was like, fuck this, man. I don't know if I've missed anything. This is horrible. Thanks to everyone that donated as well, because it cost me just under £2,000 for Suki's blood test, all the travel, because I don't drive. Why do I need to drive in London? All the Ubers. And then I even donated £300 to the charity, and it cost me 300 quid to get her cremated as well. So to everyone that donated, I should have put this more in the middle of the video rather than at the end, because that was incredible. It made me cry so much. But then so many people, to the point where I could make a donation to the charity as well, was unbelievable. So thank you to everyone that's donated and has been so supportive of me. Because I've been talking about this a lot and I've been crying a lot on my Instagram stories and Facebook stories and stuff. All the links will be in the description if you want to keep up to date with what I'm doing. Streaming now, and I'll be back to making videos again soon. Thanks for listening. This is fucking horrible, but all I can do now is move on. I'm ending the video right now.